Hey Daily Dosers, Chris Hilken here. We're talking about more evidence for God's existence. So yesterday we talked about this really simple question. Why is there something rather than nothing? In fact, if nothing isn't capable of doing anything, some people might say, well, nothing can do a lot of stuff. But that's a parapraxis. It's a mistake in terms. It's like if I said, well, baseball players can steal second base, so I can steal money. What I'm doing is I'm using the same term and I'm meaning two different things. Like right now, if I said, what am I holding in my hand, and I opened it, what might you say? Nothing. There's nothing in your hand, which is actually remarkably untrue. On top of the amount of cells that take place on the actual surface of my hand, the bacteria, there's air here, there's pockets, there's microbacteria, there's particles, there's probably dead skin, which is kind of gross. So saying nothing and saying, well, before there was anything, there was nothing, and some people might argue, well, what if nothing created everything? But you're giving properties to something that has no thing. It doesn't have properties. It's not a vacuum. It's not pre-molecular bacteria. It's nothing. There is no thing. So today we ask the question, which is very simple. If the universe then had a point at which it began, because before that there was nothing, so at one moment, everything that is inside of our space-time continuum, which means space, time, and matter, had a beginning, then we can ask the question, well, if everything started at a certain point, and everything that we observe in our universe that begins has a cause, our universe had a point at which it began, therefore our universe must have a cause, must have a purpose. Because what thing that's transcendent, means bigger than the space-time continuum, would create everything so intricately and not have a purpose or a cause behind it? So a causal agent means that something or someone, we would call that a personal being, means that they can make person-like decisions. They are conscious. They can rationalize. Something personal created everything, because we see this conscious choice all throughout nature. So we say this very simply put this way: everything that begins to exist has a cause of its existence. The universe began to exist, therefore the universe has a cause. The universe has a purpose. Purpose and cause always point to intelligence. There really is no exception. So all we have to do now is prove that the universe began to exist. Well, there's three different ways that the universe came to be. The first one is that the universe is necessary. Something that's necessary means that it exists out of the function of itself, like numbers. Ideas like numbers are a great example of something that exists necessarily. If there was never a human or never anyone ever, and there was just this distant planet where there were two rocks sitting beside each other, there would still be two rocks even if no one had ever qualified the idea of two-ness. It's an idea. It takes place. Wherever there's a set of things, there's a number that goes along with it. Now, obviously, if there was some ancient civilization that saw two rocks, they wouldn't say two, but they would still have some understanding that there is a duality of them. There are two of them. So numbers exist out of necessity. They have to exist because things exist and things have numbers. Is the universe a number? No. The universe is an idea. It's not a set of numbers. So it doesn't exist out of necessity. The other way it can exist is it can exist out of eternality. It means it's always been here. Well, we've already proven that it can't be that way. Albert Einstein proved that. The Hubble telescope proved that. The red light shift, George Lemaitre, they all proved that the universe hasn't always been here. So it can't be eternal. So our third option is that the universe is contingent. A contingent being or a contingent set or a contingent something means it needs something for its existence, and that something can't be itself. Right? If you asked me where did I come from, I could never say, I made myself. That would be what we call tautology. You'd be arguing in a circle. Some people go, well, the universe made itself. That's impossible, because the universe would have to be there in order to make itself, and it wasn't there until after it made itself, so universes can't make themselves. So what are we looking for? When you ask me where did I come from, what do I have to appeal to? A cause outside of myself. My cause would be my parents. If I find a rock on the ground, the cause would be off the side of that mountain. Well, why is that mountain there? Well, that mountain sprang into existence when the original expansion of the universe happened. Everything has a cause to it. Now you take the whole universe and you say, well, the universe is a thing. It's not necessary. It's not eternal, which means it needs a cause, but the cause can't be itself. Well, what's outside of the universe? That must be powerful enough to create the universe, ordered enough to sustain the universe, and intelligent enough to put complexity in the universe. When we find something that has the power to create worlds, has the power to create everything that we know, we would consider that thing the most powerful being ever. which is what we all kind of mean when we say God. Second evidence for the proof of God.